A Tale of Two Cities. Part 2. Flames of Revolution. The streets of Paris were no longer merely streets. They were a battlefield, a stage for rage, and a cauldron of vengeance. Every alley, every cobblestone trembled with the voices of the oppressed. The revolution had arrived. The oppressed masses, starved and beaten for generations, were no longer whispering. They were roaring. And the guillotine waited, silent and patient, a mechanical executioner ready to carve the names of nobles into the pages of history. Charles Darnay, once proud of his noble birth, now found it a curse. He had fled France to escape the shadow of his family's crimes, but the past was a relentless hunter. He returned, disguised, not as a nobleman, but as a man seeking to help those trapped in the grip of chaos. Yet even his intentions could not shield him from the fury of the revolution. Arrest came swiftly. The symbols of aristocracy were all that mattered now. Mercy had fled with reason. Meanwhile, Lucie Manette, the gentle heart of London, crossed the Channel to stand beside the man she loved. Her courage, usually wrapped in quiet humility, now blazed with determination. The streets were dangerous, every step a potential trap, but her love gave her strength. Beside her was her father, Dr. Manette, a man whose years in the Bastille had made him both fragile and formidable. In his mind, the chains of the past had been broken, yet the ghosts of the prison whispered still. And in the eyes of Lucie and Darnay, he saw hope, and perhaps redemption. The revolution did not pause. It swept through Paris like a storm, destroying centuries-old structures, toppling statues, and filling the air with smoke and screams. Peasant and prisoner, noble and commoner, no one was untouched. Madame Defarge, a figure cloaked in shadow and vengeance, embroidered her knitwork with the names of those destined for death. Her eyes, cold and relentless, scanned the crowds with the precision of a predator. Every glance concealed a hatred forged from the suffering of generations. And yet, amidst this fire and fury, Sydney Carton moved like a shadow of fate. He had crossed the Channel, not as a man seeking glory, but as a man searching for purpose. His love for Lucie burned quietly, but it was an inferno within him. He saw Darnay's danger, the inescapable machinery of the revolution closing around him, and he understood the role that destiny had carved for him. The wasted life, the man dismissed by society, would find its meaning in sacrifice. Darnay's arrest was swift, brutal, and merciless. The accusation, being an enemy of the people. The charges were vague, yet the verdict was predetermined by hatred and fear. The trial was a theater of chaos, where justice was drowned by the roar of the mob. Lucie watched, helpless and terrified, as the man she loved was dragged toward the guillotine. Her cries, her pleas, her beauty, nothing could pierce the rage of revolutionary fury. It was here that Sydney Carton made his fateful choice. Clever, fearless, and desperate, he began to orchestrate a plan that was as audacious as it was selfless. He would exchange places with Darnay. He would allow the man Lucie loved to escape the jaws of death, knowing full well that his own life would end in the blade of the guillotine. The brilliance of the plan was matched only by its heartbreak, the ultimate act of love, silent, unseen, and absolute. As preparations unfolded, tension gripped every heart. Dr. Manette, though weakened by his past, lent all his skill and knowledge to protect Darnay. He was a man reborn from suffering, and in his determination to save his son-in-law, he reclaimed a fragment of the life stolen from him by 18 years of imprisonment. The clock ticked closer to the moment when courage would clash with fate, when love would confront death itself. The streets of Paris were alive with danger. Revolutionaries patrolled every corner, their eyes sharp, their blades ready. Every whisper could betray, every shadow could conceal a killer. In this crucible, Lucie's presence was both a balm and a peril. Her light, delicate yet fierce, became a symbol of hope for those around her, yet she could not escape the storm that raged outside. Finally, the night of execution arrived. The guillotine, towering and gleaming, waited with a grim patience. Crowds gathered, faces flushed with excitement, fear, and hatred. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid scent of burning, as if the city itself mourned and celebrated at once. And upon the scaffold, Darnay, innocent yet condemned by association, faced the inevitable. And then, in a moment that seemed to suspend time, Sidney Carton stepped forward. Calm, composed, and resolute, he slipped into Darnay's place. His eyes met Lucie's, an unspoken promise, a final testament of love and courage. The guillotine would take him, yet his soul, vast and noble, would transcend the blade. In the executioner's shadow, Carton's final thoughts were not of fear, but of redemption. "It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done," he whispered, a line that would echo through eternity. His death was not in vain. It saved the life of the man Lucie loved and sealed a legacy of selfless courage that would outshine centuries of sorrow. Meanwhile, across Paris, the revolution continued to rage. Madame Defarge's vengeance, unrelenting as it was, had claimed many, yet the human spirit, though battered, refused to break completely. The city, drenched in blood and fire, was both a tomb and a crucible, where hatred and hope collided in ways that would forever shape the lives of those caught in its grip. Lucie, grieving yet grateful, embraced Darnay. Their love, tempered by suffering and forged in the fires of history, emerged stronger. Dr. Manette, though haunted, found a measure of peace, a fleeting victory over the shadows of the past. And Sidney Carton, though gone from the mortal world, left a legacy that illuminated the hearts of those he loved. This was not a story of simple triumph or joy. It was a tale of sacrifice, of courage in the face of incomprehensible odds, of love that transcends even the threat of death. The revolution was not tamed, not ended. Paris still burned, still screamed, still demanded justice and vengeance. Yet within the chaos, the human heart, in all its complexity, found moments of clarity, courage, and grace. The second act of this epic had ended, leaving behind ashes and hope, death and love, despair and courage intertwined in a tapestry as intricate and compelling as the lives it portrayed.